So today marks the start of a new series for me. Now the goal for this series will be to flip my way up to $20,000. After I make $20,000, the goal is to look out for somewhere to move out. So in order to get there, I'm going to be flipping PCs, PC parts, anything that comes along that I can make a flip out of. But I will be specializing in PCs. And while this is the start of a new journey, it isn't necessarily the start for me. In fact, I've been flipping PCs for probably over a year now, and I've accumulated like a lot of parts in between, a lot of tools and stuff. So today I'm going to be setting that start point, and that way you guys can see what tools I've accumulated, what parts I have, what PCs I have, and go from there. So this is indeed the first computer in the inventory. Now this build has an i7 12700K with an RTX 3060. Now this is a very special one, and I actually did a video on it, so I'm not going to cover too much. But nevertheless, I paid $300 for the build. It was an absolute banger nonetheless. So this is the second build I purchased, and this one has an i7 6700 along with the mighty 1060. And this black build is actually a very dirty one. I know it still needs a lot of work, and in fact it doesn't even have the side panel. We'll get there. And it has an i5 8400 along with the 1660 Super. So this fourth PC is actually a very special one, and in this episode I actually sold this build for $600, and then the PC I believe I paid under $400, so that should give you an idea of profit, but we'll cover that later. Now last but definitely not least, we have this great PC. I actually named this one in the title Metallica, and this one specifically has a Ryzen 7 2700 along with a GTX 1070. So yeah, that is what we got as far as PCs, but we also have a lot of GPUs that I actually had to go over real quick. So let's see what we have. Now this one, I think I just took out of a build and honestly didn't think it worked. But I have been using this card for quite a bit of time, only to test rigs when I don't have like a PSU extension. Now this 1070, I believe I paid around probably $40 for. I got it in a bundle that was like $70. For this 2060, I believe I paid this amount. I can't remember, so I'll just put a quick link right there. Now the 1660 actually came in that white build back there. Now that white build had a 1660, and then I took it out, and I'm gonna plan to use it on another kind of better build because that one has an i7 7700. So we kind of need to improvise on that one. Now this 1070 was actually one that I got completely free. I just had to order the replacement fans on here that I got from like AliExpress for like 10 bucks or something. But the way I got this card for free was that it was a dude that I purchased the CPU from. And since I bought the CPU from him, he's been kind of wanting to sell me this card. But I refused the offer even though it was like a semi-good price because I had to go in and replace the fans. So after like 3 months or so, he never got around to like listing it. And so he was like, hey, if you want the card, like, you could have it for free. It's completely on me. So I was like, thank you, I'll go pick it up real quick. And then he gave me that along with some RAM stick and a power supply. So that's a big dub. As far as tools, I mean, I have these two tables. This is a big table almost completely for it. This is to test PCs. As you can see, it's an HDMI and a USB-C. So these are pretty cheap. If you want to get into it, I would recommend it. Otherwise, you'll have to get a big ass monitor like this. So that is a pretty good segue to why I have this big ass setup right here. Because this is my setup, right? This is where I do my homework. This is where I do stuff. And this setup, people would be like, oh, what is this for? But in reality, when people come in to buy computers from me, what I do is I let them test out the computer fully. So this whole setup is dedicated for people who want to purchase my items. And yes, I let them come in my house. A lot of people have told me to like watch out and stuff, but so thankfully, thank God, nothing's bad happened so far. If you're gonna be letting people test out your PC, you gotta have some good equipment. So this is like a 1080p, this curve. This is actually better than my monitor. My monitor is like 60 hertz. This one's like 144 hertz and it's massive. As far as tools, I will have to point out my dad he has a big inventory of tools in his garage. So I always go in there and get what I want. So it's been a big blessing to have that. But over time, what I've found that is most important to me, like flipping PCs, is something like an electric screwdriver. These go for like 30 bucks online. It's a big help if you're really looking into it. These are very useful for cutting zip ties when you're organizing the back. that is pretty much it as far as tools, but I do have some more parts in another room, so that's what I'll show you guys right now. So this right here marks another stash that I have. Now, this consists of pretty much everything. As you guys can see, it has some cable extensions right here, some more cable extensions over there. These CPU coolers have been coming in clutch pretty often. I have some SSDs in there. These are pretty much like new parts that I ordered from Amazon when they were like on sale on Black Friday. Not necessarily on sale. Everything on Black Friday was kind of watered down. It was like prices that were already normal in my opinion. So we do have a couple power supplies, a couple CPUs, and a motherboard. This is actually I'm gonna be creating a build for this series pretty soon, or maybe even this video, we'll see. And then we got some Lian Li cases. These are gonna be for the higher end. I have two, just one down here, one down here. Some more cable extensions, some cases. And then these are a bunch of parts that I've actually purchased from like buying like complete setups. So as you guys can see, it's like keyboards. There's even a super light down there. PS5 controller, webcams. I mean, you name it, I have it here. So I like to treat my customers every once in a while. I like to give them stuff like that, what I have laying around and stuff. Other than that, I have a bunch of little things in there. It's primarily fans. There's a complete motherboard down there too. And we have some miscellaneous tools in here, thermal paste and all sorts of little things. So yeah, that is the start of my journey. So we're not gonna document any sales just yet. So as I was wrapping up that outro for you guys, I actually got a message by somebody who was interested in the Y build with the RTX 2060, and he was interested in it. Didn't really ask any questions, he was just interested in the build. So nevertheless, just yesterday he stopped by, he checked it out, I let him test it out in the setup that I showed earlier, and he ended up liking the build. We reached an agreement, and he didn't negotiate the price at all. So I even gave him like a keyboard and mouse, because he had told me that he was interested in, or he wanted a keyboard and mouse and wanted to see if I would include it in the price. So I was like, let me see what I have laying around, and I gave him a very generic one, nothing too crazy, so I gave him that. And the build is now completely sold for $600, which is pretty good. So that build ended up costing me $284 in the sale of $600. So off the top of my head, I think that's what, $216 gain. So that is a pretty good start to the series, if I do say so myself. And get ready, because you guys will see some obnoxious profits that I make. It's something that's very unique to my way of building, because there's not many people that could buy and sell parts locally like me. And I know a lot of people are limited by JAWA fees, taxes, and all that. And then I found that I could sell everything locally and save my money by doing it that way. So in return, I make pretty massive profits, and I've made a lot more, if I'm being honest. But we'll see how it comes out. Maybe the market will dry up, maybe I'm just bluffing, who knows. So hopefully you tag along for the next episode. And you got any words for them? Nah, he doesn't have any words for you guys, but he won't give me his toy. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe a month or so, probably less, maybe 2 weeks, we'll see. So thank you for watching.